That's not good. Well, that ain't gonna work at all. Hello and welcome to Topper Machine. I'm Josh Topper, and as you can see, we're trying to set up the Cincinnati horizontal mill to do these pins for the track on the dragline crane. We have to mill the steps in them, but I have a problem. My drawbar is not long enough to use my 40 taper tooling in the 50 taper adapter. So I need to make a new drawbar. Now our drawbar is quite simple, but it just threads in, and this one actually is threaded here with this threaded piece that you can tighten it up that way. I'm going to do this as one piece. I did one for the vertical head and that worked out well. So let's just get this drawbar out of here. We already know that it's only grabbing on the last threads here. So we need to actually just plan it out to make it a little bit longer. And you know, we're going to skip this thread because it works great with the 50 taper. We're just going to do the 5/8 for the 40 taper. Okay, so here are the drawbars for the vertical attachment. This is the one that came with it, and I had the same problem. I was only engaging on the very ends of the threads when I had this run out all the way. So then I just made this one. Very simple. Threaded the end, put a big flange nut on there, which works great, and then drilled and tapped and put in a piece of threaded rod. This gives me the ability to replace this if it ever goes bad. And as you can see, it's, you know, 3/8 of an inch longer or so, which gives me good engagement. It's actually biting up about 1/2 inch. I would actually like a little bit more, but we can compensate for that on this one. We're going to measure out what I need because the nut will fit here where this flange is, and I know I need at least another 1/2 inch, maybe a little more out here, so we can compensate for that length. Okay, so we're just going to start out and measure from the bottom of the flange to the end of that. And we're going to go a little bit longer, so we need 18.5. Let's make that 18 3/4 to the bottom of the flange nut. And then from there, we're going to add on the length of that flange nut, which is another 1.25 inches. So we'll have 20 inches overall. And we'll just double check that here. Yeah, 20 inches overall should work just fine. And so what we're going to make this out of is some 1-inch 4140 pre-hard. Give me a little more strength than just a cold rolled, and it worked out really well on that last one I did. So, let's fire up my big Johnson and cut this off. All right, so I got it here in the Monarch. I'm gonna just face off this end, and then we're gonna thread this end first to our 1-inch 8 flange nut here, and make sure we get a nice snug fit there, and then we'll flip it around and do the other end. Alright, and I always take my threading tool and give myself a starting chamfer before we set up to do the actual thread. Alright, I got myself slowed down to my threading speed. I'm lined up, I set my 0. I'm going to just come over and give myself a mark at 1.25 inches. And that's where I want to finish each thread. And I'll just give myself a nice scratch in the material. And then I already touched off and found my 0, but I'll show you that again. And then I'm going to turn the compound in and take the first cut. And I always run this one first cut dry just to see where I'm at. And right there. Alright, so this is a little bit harder material, this 4140 pre-hard, so we're just going to put a little anchor lube on it. This stuff really shines in this harder stuff. Either hard stuff or stainless. It's actually a very good product. And we broke our insert. So I am feeding a little bit aggressively on my thread, and I always do that. And I've had really good success over the years with that, but this harder material, it does take a beating, and losing the lubricant down in the groove doesn't help, but we'll just get the insert changed out, recatch the thread, and go right back to it. All right, I got my new insert in there, and to be fair, that insert had threaded a lot of stuff before I broke it here, so just cost of doing business. Inserts are, you know, just part of the daily routine. So I engaged it, and I'm going to stop the spindle and just line her up. And we'll just see where we land, but it's actually looking really good. Actually, it's very good. So she landed in there good. Otherwise, you have to adjust between your compound and your depth. So, but we're really good there. So we'll back it back out and start threading. And sometimes you'll break the insert doing this, but well, we're looking good. She picked right back up. I'm going to let you all in on a little trick here. Is threading to a shoulder, use a dial indicator, because that following that clock face is so much easier than following, you know, watching the cut. All right, let's just take a quick peek here, see where we are. I know we got to be getting close, and it just starts. I think a spring pass will get that on there nice and tight. All right, let's see if that did it. That'll go. Be able to drive that home, and it'll be nice and snug. A little bit of red Loctite, or maybe even TIG welding the nut on wouldn't be a bad idea. But yeah, that's perfect. Nice tight fit. Beautiful. All right, before I get too carried away, I just want to verify something because it looked like it wouldn't fit, but it does fit. So we don't have to actually turn that step that I put on the other one just for clearance. It's not necessary, so. She wasn't liking that, so I slowed down my spindle speed. Usually I'll drill 1018 at that speed, and I wasn't thinking 4140 is a little bit tougher. All right, let's get it out of here, take it over to the radial drill and tap it. All right, so I'm over here at the radial drill. We're just gonna get this thing set up here in the vise vertically so I can hold it, and we'll just use this to run the tap in and out. All right, so before I tap this, I'm gonna address a question that so many people are gonna ask. Why don't I tap in the Monarch lathe? Monarch gearhead lathes cannot be reversed. It is in the design of them that the dogs internally, it will do damage over time. When I buy my Monarchs, and I've owned 4 of them now, I only bought them because I opened up the headstock and took a look at the internal drive dogs and clutches. And if there was a reverse switch on them, that was an indicator that there was going to be significant wear in there. And almost 9 times out of 10, they were significantly trashed internally. So they weren't worth my time. My 18-inch Monarch, the one I've kept, the last Monarch I own, never had a reverse switch on it, and that thing looks as good as the day it was probably built in 1944, 42, something like that. So if there's a reverse switch on a gearhead Monarch when you're looking to buy one, be very, very cautious because there's going to be a significant amount of internal damage, more than likely. There are some rare cases where there won't be, but I will not put a reversing switch on a Monarch gearhead lathe. And now that I'm down to 1 Monarch, that's not really an issue. Generally, I would do this kind of stuff in the Lion lathe, but that's already set up with something, and the Lion is already set up with spindle reverse, so that's not an issue. But doing it here on the radial drill ensures that I'm not going to do damage to the Monarch. Let's go ahead and get some anchor lube on our tap here, and let's run her in. Okay, so I'm back here over here with my other spindles. I'm just going to run a bolt in here, and this will kind of give me my depth, and then we can figure out how long our piece of threaded rod needs to be. And she wants to bottom out about there. We'll line that up with the step on this end, and I want to be roughly an extra, let's say an extra 3/4 inch. So I'm 1 7/8 off the head. So we'll take that bolt back out and calculate out how much more we need. Okay, so being a 3-inch bolt, we were 1 1/8 in, and I'm gonna wanna go 1.5 inches out, which will give me an extra 5/8 of an inch off the end here. So 1 1/8 plus 1.5 inches will be 2 5/8. right, I'm over here at the vise and I've got my red Loctite and my piece of threaded rod. This is B7. It's basically a 4140 pre-hard. It's like a grade, it's a little better than a grade 5, I believe. But we're gonna red Loctite this. I got double nuts on there so I can crank it in and give it a little extra. And then we'll just drive her home. I must have a little bit of burr on that end. That's the opposite end that I didn't test earlier, but that's okay. That'll help lock it in. And there's the bottom. Snug it in just a little bit and release the nuts. There it is. All right, we'll go ahead and put our nut on the other end, and I'll just, like I said there, I'll red Loctite it, and we'll see how it holds up long term. But I may TIG weld these nuts on yet. We'll see how it works out. And we'll just give that a little snug, bottom it out. And we're there. Well, there she is, just as simple as that. Let's try this again. Let's see if this works. Oh, there's where she engaged. That's a lot better. Good thread engagement, lots of threads. I feel so much better about that. And when it's time to knock it out, I can back it out a little and not worry about messing up the threads on the tool holder. Much better. Well, I couldn't be happier with the way that came out. That worked out extremely well, and now I'll be able to safely hold my 40 taper tooling in my 50 taper machine. That engagement before, I'd be surprised if I had one full thread, so not a safe, not a good idea. And this was the smart move, just to make the new drawbar. Now I have all the stuff I need for this machine with the vertical drawbar and the horizontal drawbar now. So now stay tuned, because next week we are actually going to be making the rest of the pins for the dragline crane. Here is one of the original ones for the track rollers, and that's how much it's wore. And we got to mill this. This is what I was setting up for today when I found this problem. So definitely going to be a worthwhile thing to have that good thread engagement to ensure the safety and the tool stays in place. But here are the pins ready to get milled. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and with that, stay tuned. Check out next week's video on the pins, and get out in your shop and get it done right the first time.